Hi, it's the 10th of September 2018 at 12:30 p.m. I'd like to start today's video with a couple of hypotheses. Firstly, knowing the guys tell me that women are this and that, and they have no empathy and they don't care, and blah 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 blah. Okay, now I'm not disputing that for a moment. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing, but that's what they're saying. Now, I look at it and I think, yeah, okay, but was that always the case? Were women always like this? It's just a test, just a hypothesis, okay? And I think about World War II, and I think, women. I just can't imagine it's anybody, particularly people at the time, saying, women were just such greedy, self-interested, only interested in themselves type people," because they wouldn't have been. It's as simple as that. And no doubt before that war as well, and what have you. But certainly during wartime, no. There was everybody. It was just everybody, shoulder to the wheel, and try to survive and try to do whatever. Yeah, no, there was no. The whole thing about a war is all selfishness goes. You're there for the greater good. So I have to look at it and say, no, I don't think women. I have this argument with guys all the time, about human nature and whatever. Yeah, I think humans will become anything you let them become, but I don't think it's in their intrinsic nature. But let's not argue about that. The point I'm trying to make is, are women, are they a static thing, or are they changeable in some way? Have they changed over the years? And I would go with the latter. I think they've changed. I just can't imagine women being self-centered, greedy. I don't think you could have described them in the war years that way. Okay, so that's sort of the first hypothesis I'm going to make. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. It's just a hypothesis. The second hypothesis I want to make is, I believe something has changed them. And as I said in yesterday's video, I think that something is narcissism. And I think, and this is the way I look at it, narcissism is like a poison. Very similar to alcohol. Alcohol is simply nothing more than a substance that you pour into your body and somehow ends up changing your brain in some way. With narcissism, you don't drink anything, you don't eat anything, you don't swallow anything. But it still gets to the same place. That's my hypothesis. Okay, so to sort of explain the hypothesis, I'm going to go on the basis that if it looks like a duck and swims like a duck and quacks like a duck, then look, it may not be a duck exactly, but its chances are it's going to have the same characteristics as a duck. Okay, so while narcissism isn't actually alcoholism, it has. I believe it has much the same sort of output, the same sort of characteristics. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is just do, a quick rough comparison between the two. How it develops. So I think I've had a chance to watch both over 60 odd years, and I'll try and draw a parallel between how I see alcoholism and narcissism. So when you first start drinking, it's a lot of fun. Let's face it, it changes your mind. You feel great. You feel, a little bit numb, a little bit forget the world and this sort of thing. Yeah. And it sort of gives you this feeling of euphoria. It gives you that feeling of like, oh yeah, I could do anything. Well, I'm not a narcissist, but I'm guessing narcissism, and from what I can observe, it gives that same hit. It's this feeling of a euphoric feeling, this sort of, I can walk on water type of thing. That's how it starts. So I'd say they both start off in the same place. With narcissism, you don't have the after effects, or at least I don't know. You could do, but I not that I've noticed of alcoholism or of drinking alcohol. I've been physically sick, etc. But there would be some effect there. But I see that the two sort of setting up this euphoric state in your mind. Now, as time goes on and you drink more and more alcohol, and you need more and more alcohol to maintain this euphoric state. And so but drink it and drink it. Yeah, no problems. I can handle this. Talk to anybody who's been an alcoholic or who was a drinker. Yeah, no problems. We can handle this. Yeah, we're invincible. We can do this. Well, it seems that narcissism does much the same sort of thing. You need to keep doing it. You can't just stop it. You build your persona around this power. It gives you control and power. It seems to. Yeah, I guess you could say alcohol probably brings in narcissism. Okay, and that also helps people have confidence to face the world for a while, and do things that they wouldn't normally do, take risks they wouldn't normally take ordinarily. And then as time goes on, the more and more alcohol you drink, well, I don't think you need to, I don't need to explain what happens. You become completely dependent. And one of the side effects of alcohol is that you start pushing away people who love you. Your friends, your family, everything else, because the most important thing to you is the buzz from alcohol, is the alcohol itself. You don't really care about building a YouTube channel, for example, because what's the most important thing? Well, a drink at the end of the day. So come on, let's just hurry up and get it done, get something done, and then we can sit back and enjoy the celebration of having a drink at the end of the day. If you don't have that drink at the end of the day, there's nothing to celebrate with, so you just, that just doesn't happen. So you start focusing more on what you should be doing. Oh, what happens with narcissism? Well, as time goes on, and it's just quicker and easier to shoot down everybody else and just call them all sorts of names and tell them they're wrong, that you're right, and blah, blah, blah. It's not exactly the same. I'm not pretending for a second it is, but it has similar characteristics. As time goes on, you need more and more of both. And increasingly, as we're seeing with mgtow, the whole creation of mgtow is us walking away. They're pushing away their friends. And it's being encouraged by a small group of exceptionally narcissistic and sadistic and cruel people who are encouraging everyday ordinary women to push away their friends. I mean, let's face it, guys, we are their friends. We used to be. I've been meaning to get back to a video for Discover Yourself. He wanted to know what the relationships between men and women were like before it went to shit. I'll get there, Discover Yourself. But I just keep going this thing. But that's what it was like. We were more, we're friends. We're sort of there for one another. Those days are going. Just as it does with an alcoholic. As much as you love the alcoholic, maybe you just think, no, I've just got to distance myself from them. Because they're too hard to be with. And they don't care. The more they drink, and I know I've been there, you don't care. Say whatever, do whatever. If you upset people, who cares? There's plenty more people in the world. And there are plenty more people in the world, but that's what you think. And this is what's happening. This is what happens with narcissism as well. You actually upset people because you're on this power drive. People actually don't like power-driven people, believe it or not. They're not exactly good friends to have. They want power, and more power, and more power, and more control. I mean, that's just what friends want, isn't it? People who control you. It's great. Yeah. So what do mgtow say? I mean, we don't hate women. We don't dislike women. We've just had to walk away. I mean, it's a simple. I don't know how many times we can say that. We have to distance ourselves because we don't want to end up in jail because you make up some story or something like that. Gotcha. And we don't want that. That's what happens. With narcissism. I mean, look at Hitler. Did he have any real friends? Huh? He's very powerful, very frightening. He scared the bejesus out of the whole world. But nobody really wanted him in the end. And they're all happy when he left. And that's what happened with him. And he's a huge narcissist. But that's the two. Now, I'm just basing everything on it's anecdotal evidence. It's just, I've just something as an observation over all the years. It just, the two things look very similar to me. And in fact, living with a narcissist is like living with an alcoholic. You think, and had I known what it was the whole time, it would have been different. But I'd lived with a woman for 30 years, and it felt like I was living with an alcoholic. She didn't drink. And she had every narcissistic quality going. I had no idea what it was. Yeah, and it was just, everything was to be right. Everything was to win. There's no sort of, let's do this together. There's none of that. And you're not going to get that with an alcoholic either. No. They want their alcohol. There is nothing else for them. They just want their alcohol. They just want this feeling. They don't actually want to achieve anything. They don't want to do anything. They just want their alcohol. Now, I'd say what's happening is, yep, they just want their narcissism. They just want their power. And it's, be what it is. It's driving us away. Now, am I saying it's a mental illness? Am I saying that anything about them at all? No. All I'm saying is I'm drawing the parallel. I'm leaving it up to you to have a look at it. And I mean, what do you think is going to be the likely outcome of it if it continues? Why should we hate women? Oh, I don't. This is why I don't. I think I feel sorry for them. It seems that they're being led in a direction that I wouldn't like to be led in. There's any number of people out there that lead you, having a drink. Come on, Bob, have a drink with us. Oh, why don't you have a drink? You got another one, India. Yeah, that's the sort of leadership I don't need, thanks. I've turned my back on it. I'm actually trying to, I'm getting older. I'm getting to that stage where it's, yes, stuff it, who cares, let it go. Let's sit down and just, guys here, heaps of them. Do I want to be that? But I just refuse to let myself be led by that. And that's really what it is. And that's my whole thing with mgtow. Why do people allow themselves to be led so easily? Why not sit back and look at yourself, look at look at your life, and think, no, how do I want to live? And this is what's happening. But if this is what I'm seeing, unfortunately, with women, they're allowing themselves to be led by the wrong people. They should be led by themselves, each individually by themselves, and stand their own ground, the same as a man does. Men shouldn't allow themselves to be led by other men either. You should stand your own ground. I believe in anarchy to a large extent. Yeah, sure, you need government. But I'm a big believer in anarchy. And I see mgtow as anarchy. No central body, no central rules, no, you have to do it this way. But how can you have a right and wrong anarchy? The correct way to do anarchy is this. Yeah, no, that happens with a centralised body. You have a set of rules you have to follow and that sort of thing, and you have to follow the rules. With anarchy, there are no rules. It's just your own rules and your own, what you believe and what you think is right. You are leading yourself. That doesn't, and women really should lead themselves and decide what's right for them. And stand there firmly, and a man stands here and a woman, she doesn't need some group of people in a distant country that she doesn't even know telling her how to live her life. Men don't need that either, for a large part. Yeah, we've got to do certain things, as I said, but no, we are our own people, all of us. My views aren't necessarily right. This whole hypothesis I've got about alcoholism and narcissism being one and the same could be complete rubbish. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a doctor or anything. It's just I'm looking at, for my little limited knowledge of both, having experience with both, yeah, they look to be the same. It seems that we're getting to the same outcome, same output. But look, anyway, that's it. Do with that what you will and make of it what you will. And I think tomorrow I think I'll take this from now, and I keep talking about how we've evolved. You know, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe we're not evolving. Maybe we're adapting. It'd probably be a better word. I thought about it yesterday. I thought, I keep saying, you know, it's an evolutionary thing, but maybe we're adapting. And let's face it, people, you know, are adept at adapting. Yeah, we adapt well to any situation. Unfortunately, in a lot of cases, well, fortunately, probably you have to survive. But anyway, I'll talk about that tomorrow and how we're adapting to this change, or what I'm seeing, how we're adapting into, and maybe how we can go with it in some way without giving up absolutely everything and losing everything. I don't know, but I'll talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, you know, how we can adapt to this environment, how we have adapted to it, how we are currently adapting to it, and what's likely to happen in future. Anyway, good talking to you, and I shall talk to you again soon. Bye.